My overriding sort of emotion at the time was that I felt we'd let down the Falkland Islanders. Once got back and I got home and sitting with my mum and dad at home, that was my overriding sort of emotion, was we'd let them down, we'd failed them, and hadn't defended them. So inside, all I wanted to do was go back and have a second shot at it, so to speak. So I had no doubts in my mind, no reservations about getting back there as soon as possibly could. We'd got back to pool, been rekitted. The task force had already, I think I'm right in saying it, had already deployed by that time. We were flown out to Ascension Island. So we'd been on Ascension Island for 3-4 days at least before the Canberra and all the task force sort of came in. Finally, we were put onto Canberra. It seemed to take forever to go down, to get down to the Falklands on there. As we were sailing down to the Falklands, obviously there was news about 1 or 2 ships getting hit as we were going down there. Became quite worrying because when you consider we were in the Canberra, we're in the biggest and the most blatantly obvious ship on the water sort of thing. So if they're going to hit anything, they can hardly miss the Canberra. We did arrive back at the Falklands, went into San Carlos Bay water, whatever it was called. Again, another time where you know that the gods haven't got it in for you on that particular day, because I remember us all being kitted up and waiting our turn to get into the landing craft to deploy onto the island. And you could literally hear the bombs coming down through the air, dropping in the water, going off, all the water splashing over the ship. And you're just thinking, well, when's it going to hit us? Because the next one will, or the next one will. And absolutely, you've got to say that that was just meant to be, because they didn't hit it once, and you cannot in your own mind understand how they didn't blow the ship apart, really, with all of us on it. We did get on the landing crafts, going when it was landing, and I have to say it was quite funny, because although, as we all know, the front of a landing craft, the front's going to drop down and you're all going to rush onto the beach. And of course, we didn't know whether it was going to be an opposed landing or not. Nobody really sort of had that intel. So as it's getting closer to the beach, fortunately we hadn't been opened up on at that time, but it was a strange thing, and I can remember it now. It's almost like people were trying to work the way back a little bit, and it was all because the landing craft's full, but the front sort of 10-15 feet, there's nobody there all of a sudden, and everybody's like trying to get into the middle of the crowd, like, you know, thinking, right, are we going to get shot at? Fortunately, it didn't happen. It was an unopposed landing, and so we just got a bit wet and got on the beach and organised ourselves from there.